Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. I am glad you could be here. Today we have a Ford Explorer. It's the Eddie Bauer edition. It has several issues. He stated that it has traction control light on, the temperature gauge doesn't work, and it has the check engine light. So there is a possibility that they're all related. Now, mileage on this thing is 125,727 miles. He says the check engine light is on and says it's for the temperature gauge. And he says the temperature gauge does not want to read in the dash. So let's go ahead. Let's get this thing fired up, which we did, and get it hooked up to our scan tool. We're gonna see what all we've got going on here. Let's see if we can get this thing figured out. All right, we've hooked up to this thing. We've done a scan on it. Hello. Then let's go into PCM first, and let's see what we've got. Read codes, retrieve continuous memory, DTCs.
A few minutes later.
Alright, so we have engine coolant temperature sensor circuit high input. Okay. Let's go back and let's read live data. See what our temperature sensor is showing. I'm assuming it's going to be showing like minus 40 degrees or something crazy like that, because either we have, I believe we have either a open sensor or we might have a wire that broke somewhere, and I believe should be fairly easy to figure out. Let's go down here to engine coolant temperature. Yep, minus 40. Okay, so the voltage coming in is at 4.99. So either we have a bad coolant temperature sensor or we have a wire that's broke somewhere, and that's also why the AC is not working. I'm sure, maybe not, but I'm sure it is. I think that's also why we have a traction control light. Let's come back here. As you can see, we have a lot of faults in the instrument cluster, and that's because this thing was in a wreck and somebody fixed it up, punched out the ABS light. If you do that stuff, you're bad. You should be called out. I don't know who did that, but that's not the way you fix things. People like that make me mad. Okay, let's see here. Let's read the codes in the ABS. I'm suspecting it's saying something with the PCM. We'll have a fault in there for a PCM request, or invalid or something like that. Fault received from external node. Yep. Okay, so I think if we get our coolant temperature sensor fixed and working, some of these other codes will go away. Obviously the restraint control module won't. So we'll have PCM, ABS, that's the main thing he wants fixed, and then the AC. He's using this thing to go traveling, and he wants AC, and he wants all this other stuff off. So let's pull this thing into the shop. Let's do a little check-in on our wiring. One way we can tell is we can cross over sensor, and it should read it should go one way or the other. If I get it set here, I've got some people in my shop today, so oh crap, forgot I've got a truck in there. All right, let's pull this thing in. Let's go ahead and do a little checking on this. I'm going to see if I can get this thing figured out by checking when we cross over the wire. Let's come up here Let's check our, well, right away, that's going to be a problem. Okay, well, that doesn't really look like a squirrel nibbled on it, or a mouse. I mean, why wouldn't they picked on anything else? That's odd. I mean, those are a little cracked there. Ooh. Yeah, we need to put a little electrical tape over that. But we're going to, I might be able to fix this. Let me see if I can get a end coming. This thing has got wiring. I don't know. I'm not sure what caused that, because it's like there's a whole chunk missing out of there. So I'm not sure, but this is our problem. I can almost guarantee it. So let's go ahead and let's see if we can fix this. If not, we'll get another end coming. We'll put a new end on there, see what we have then. We'll be right back. All right, so I can't get a connector until this afternoon. So what I've done, as you can see here, is just put me some short little wires on here. I've gone ahead and twisted those together. Again, this is just temporary. Obviously, this is not anything permanent at all. But I feel like that is too close to the connector with these connections. I don't feel like that's going to be a long-term solution. Plus, then we'd have two connections. I want a new connector on there. But what I want to do is just double check, make sure that this is going to take care of our problem with the AC for one, our traction control, which I'm pretty certain that it will, the traction control, but I'm not sure about the AC. So what I want to do is do this to where I can at least test that, because he wants to travel tonight with this thing. So I want to try to make sure that when we go to change that connector, that takes care of all the issues that he had. So let's come in here. Let's see if we have, or what we have here. Let's just turn the key on for now. Let's come into live data. Well, we can already see our traction control lights off. Okay, yeah. We do still have a check engine light, which I'm not surprised. We have a pressure of 114 psi in the AC. So I think our AC is probably going to work as well. So let's go ahead, check this out. And we have a temperature gauge that's working. I've heard the AC kick in. Yeah, so we're building pressure on the AC as well. All right, this is good. As of now, the AC is working. The traction control light is off. We still have a check engine light, which I'm not surprised. Let's see. Yeah. Our AC is on. Yes, it's allowed. Okay. We're putting out cold air. Cold, somewhat cold. It's kind of hard to tell in here. Yeah, we have 250 pounds. We should be getting a fan engagement here after a bit, but yeah, it's blowing cold air. Okay, so that temperature sensor was our issue. Let's go in here and let's just make sure that our engine coolant temperature, yep, okay, 174 degrees. I would agree with that. Our voltage is where it needs to be. So we're going to have, let's come back here. My guess is we're still going to have codes in the PCM, but they shouldn't be active. The ABS is still on here as a fault code, but we'll get, I don't want to clear all the codes until I get that new, I hit the wrong one anyway. I don't want to clear all the codes until I get the new connector in where I can fix it permanently, then clear the codes. We'll take it out, test drive it, but I wanted to make sure that we don't have another issue with the AC. But yeah, the AC is definitely working. So let's go ahead, we'll get this thing parked until I get the new connector, that's going to take care of all of our issues. So a lesson again, one thing can affect what, three different things. That check engine light, temperature, AC didn't work, traction control. So what's that? Got interrupted there. But yeah, so let's go ahead, we'll get that sensor plug-in repaired whenever it comes in this afternoon. It'll be about 3 this afternoon. For you guys, I mean, for me it's going to be several hours. For you guys it's going to be about 30 seconds. We have our new part, so let's make sure that this thing is still going to work, or is going to work here. Hang on, what? Oh, modern day, it's all plastic. Okay, yep, that should work. Same. Okay, all right, so we're going to go ahead. I want to put these things on the same terminal. I don't think it matters, but so this one's going to be yellow, this is going to be the green. So CarQuest sent these little connectors here with the coating, or the shrink tube, if I get it said right. So I'm going to use those. I sometimes do have my own that I use, but this time we're just going to use the ones that they sent. That's pretty good repair, so pretty solid repair. Some guys actually prefer to do it that way. So let's get this over here. This is going to be the green one here, so I'm going to give us a little bit of room since we've got plenty of wire. All right, now let's get this here. We'll put this one about, just about that length. We'll make him a little bit longer. All right, let's go ahead and unplug this. We'll go ahead and strip a short little piece off of here. Doesn't need much. Just like that. Put this on there. Crimp her down tight. Okay, and this one here. The benefit to these is they're not as bulky as what the others are, so that makes a cleaner connection as well. So go ahead and slide this down across there. Be careful not to drop this. Crimp her down. All right, now let's make sure. I think this one's going to be the green, I believe. Yes, it is. All right, so now let's go ahead and put this, slide these up here first. Make sure you do that, like I almost didn't do, and then we would have had to cut everything apart and then put everything, yeah, try to put it back together. So let's go ahead, slide that in there, crimp this together tight. Give it a little tug, make sure she's good to go. Okay, there we go. Give that a tug. That's good to go. All right, so now let's bring this down about right there. Let's go do one at a time. Not sure, don't want to, I don't really like doing both of them at the same time, because sometimes you can get them to where they'll start melting together. Hang on. Okay, well, maybe we have to. If I wasn't so lazy, I'd get out my heat gun, but I didn't really want to. Come on, wet. I want to kind of go all the way around, because that, if you just do one side, it won't shrink all of it out of, or there's, if I get it said right, there is some sealant on the inside there that will squeeze out through there, and if you don't do all the sides, you'll have some of it there that won't squeeze out through the end there. So you want to make sure you go all the way around, get that to where it's starting to ooze out of the other end there. Come on, quit. Alright, oh yeah, yep, we've got it. Alright, so now we'll let that cool off, then we'll plug everything in. Actually, I'll tape it up and then we'll plug everything in. I might even put a little bit of a coating on there. I think I've got some over on the electrical shelf, so let's see if we do. If we do, I'm gonna put some on there just to protect it. Alright, sure do. So let's go ahead, slide this down across there. Come on. There we go. Alright, so that'll be cut off about right there. Okay, now let's get this taped up here. I like to tape this whole thing just because I like using electrical tape. Alright, now click, firm click. Alright, so now let's go ahead and we're going to go ahead and repair this over here. It's not damaged yet. I mean, as far as the wire, the coating is damaged obviously, but not the wire. So let's go ahead and just cover this up so that we don't get any more damage to it. I suspect it's probably heat damaged because it's real brittle. Alright, now that should take care of our check engine light. Let's get you guys back here so we can see that's nice and neat there. Alright, now all that. All right, now we should be able to get this thing, the codes cleared, and take it on test drive, and this should take care of all of our issues. So let's get the scan tool, get it hooked back up, and we'll take her on a test drive. Powering up. Read the codes. Now this last time that took about 2 years to pull up, so let's see what happens this time.
2,000 years later.
Alright. Well, it says it's pending, but I don't believe that that's correct. Let's go into live data. It's cooled down fairly well, but we should be at probably about 80 to 90 degrees here. So let's come down here to engine coolant temperature, and we're 105. So yeah, that's probably about right. Okay, now erase the codes. Yes, it's off. Okay. Alright, now let's come back here, and what are we still got? Not again. Oh, I bet it's the code for not being able to run a drive function, or yeah, check of all systems not complete. Okay. Alright, so well, that'll have to run for a little bit. Okay, now, and ABS, we're going to go ahead and erase that one so it's not there. I mean, the code's not coming up on the dash. However, let's just go ahead and erase that anyway. Okay, escape. Alright, let's go take it on a test drive and we shall see if everything works the way it's supposed to. Starting the engine. Waiting for the garage door to open. Alright, back on out of here. Right as of now, we've got AC. Let's see what happens going down the road. I really think I've lost my spot. He's been there all afternoon and he loves to lay in that thing. Okay. Oh, maybe we ought to put our seatbelt on. Click it or ticket. All right. So a lot of times when you have a coolant temperature sensor fault in the computer, that will usually withhold the AC. It can also cause the radiator fan to run non-stop. The reason for that is because the computer or the ECM does not see a applicable value that it knows that something's wrong, so it goes into fail-safe mode, which is disable the AC, take the load off the engine, because it doesn't know. It's like running without a gauge. I mean, you are running without a gauge, so basically it's doing everything it can to cool the engine down as much as possible. So that's why we had no AC. I don't know for sure how the system works on the ABS. I'm not sure. I don't quite know how to explain that one, but I know that it happens a lot. So maybe those of you that are more up to date on Fords can explain that. But I don't really have that knowledge in my head. So this thing is making ice cold AC. It has the temperature gauge in the center between cool and hot. The lights are off on the dash except for the ABS light, which was on before. So I'm going to call this a repair, and we're going to end this video. I'm going to drive on back to the shop. Obviously, I'm not going to park the truck here, but I'm going to go ahead and go back to the shop. But I'm going to end this video here, and I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for being here. You guys, you don't know how much I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Doesn't cost you guys a thing. Helps me out a bunch. Until the next time, I will catch you all later.